people, my name is Malcolm. This is Fat Man Speaks 2. This topic has been stirring in my head for like the last few days, so if it sounds weird, it's because it's been in my head for a few days. So shut up. But I was thinking the other day because I'm looking at my sister and she just got weave in her hair. And she used to walk around with the natural hair look, not as natural as mine. It was way better. But I looked at it and I was like, she looks really weird now. And she had her own style. Like, she was walking around, she was kind of stealing my style for a while, but I kind of let it go. Now she has her own little style, but the hair just throws it off a little bit. I don't want to say it to her because I am not a chick, so I cannot go over and say, hey, I really don't like what you're doing. I gotta be an older brother, I gotta make her feel good. That's what all older brothers do. But then I started thinking about this generation of kids who are growing up right now. Because I grew up with cartoons. We grew up watching Toonami, Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon. All they showed was cartoons, and that's what we did. We sat down, watched cartoons, and we fell in love with these cartoons, like hardcore. And then once social media came in, we found out a whole bunch of people like this shit. And now we're in this zone where we can be these stupid adults going around wearing My Little Pony t-shirts and wearing Superman because it's the new shit. Look at my wall. Look at my wall. This wall. This is my wall. I'm 19, going on 20. This is my wall right now. It's impressive, I know, but still. But then I started seeing my sister. I was paying way too much attention to my sister and realized that this generation is fucked. I mean, like, really, really fucked. Okay, let me get down to the nitty-gritty points. Number one, these kids are too impressed by shit that happens. Impressed by everything. I mean, twerking is a thing. Just let that sink in for a minute. Twerking is a thing. Shaking an ass with skills is impressive. Okay? Let me understand. Things that were impressive, that were so ridiculous. Like, you ever seen a person play with a lighter? It's the same thing with twerking. Because you flip on the lighter and you're like, I made fire! Then you see some guy, there's some guy watching this girl shake her ass. He's like, she's shaking her ass professionally. And then we make fun of other people who try it because they want to do it. Because they want to be impressive. And sometimes, to be a hypocrite, I'm impressed. Another thing is, these reality shows are just fucking... These reality shows are just bad. Remember when the real world was a thing? It was really cool, right? Now every time you watch it, there's like 1,700 of these motherfuckers just all on TV. And it's corrupting these young kids' minds. I'm not doubting that. How do I know this? Because my sister talks like one of them on the fucking show. And every time she talks to me like that, I go, and don't get me wrong, I've seen reality TV. It is so interesting to the point where when you want to change the channel, the episode ends and you're like, shit, I want to know what happens next. And I'm guilty of it. I watch Lizard Lit Towing and the towing shows, the dumb shows that you feel like is scripted, but it's not. Because you know, somewhere down the line, that is crazy. How does a person steal a car from a tow lot? You don't see that shit happening in a classic anytime at all. My final point to say this generation is fucked is the fact that most of these kids are getting pregnant earlier and earlier. Look, when I was little, I think in the 7th grade. You can ask anybody who was with me in the 7th grade at this point. I literally thought a blowjob was a girl, when you pulled down your pants, you had an erect penis, and she just went like this on your dick. I thought that was a blowjob. I got older and found out what a blowjob was. And let me tell you, they're amazing. But it's not the point. Now these kids know exactly what a blowjob is. And these girls are getting pregnant way too fucking quickly. And I'm like, why? Honestly, I blame 16 and pregnant. But why? Why can't we just have a generation of kids like us? But then I realized something. Every generation is gonna have some type of fuck up. I mean, every generation from this time till the end of time is always gonna talk about another. It's gonna talk shit about the other generation. You gotta think about it like this. You had the 20s, you had the 1920s. We're talking about the 1930 kids going, these kids are fucked. And then you had the 1930 kids growing up to the 1940 kids. They're saying we're fucked. And now it keeps going down the line, especially during the 70s and 80s when you had flower children and you had those motherfuckers who had the crazy hair and they went through that 80s phase. And you both times we were saying, damn, they're fucked. And now we're in that generation where we're like, these kids are fucked. Listen.